Okay, so we're going to have a look at changing the power steering fluid today. Doing the job on an E60 M5, but this video will be applicable to most BMWs as they used a similar system over the years. Now this is a job I look at doing once every 2 years. You could probably stretch it out to 3 or 4, or ideally look at doing the job every 30,000 miles, 50,000 Ks. But for the price of a litre of fluid and half an hour's work, why not do it every 2 years? Keeps the fluid nice and fresh. Now the first thing to look for is which power steering fluid your system's got in it. Now over the years BMW used 2 different types. The earlier cars used ATF Dextron 3, the later cars used this stuff. It's a hydraulic fluid CHF 11S. So I think they made the change over early to mid 2000. So the easiest way to tell which fluid your system's got in it, take a look at the power steering cap. Obviously this says CFH 11S, or it'll tell you Dextron 3. Now the thing to watch out for is you don't know what a previous owner or garage has used in the system. BMW used these caps for many years. They've all got used automatic transmission fluid moulded into the top, and then the later ones have this sticker over the top, so if the sticker's missing, that's going to mislead you. And also, if someone's replaced the cap or the whole unit later on an earlier car, all the new ones come with this sticker on, so although it'll be a type that takes Dextron 3, the cap will be telling you otherwise. So the best way to tell is if it's the old Dextron 3 automatic transmission fluid, it's usually a dark red or a dark pink colour. A CHF 11S is normally a dark green colour. The other thing is these reservoirs have a filter in them, so if your car's got quite a few miles on it, or it's getting old, or it's had the same fluid in for a long time, it's worth just changing the whole reservoir for a new one, because the filter's not removable. Also it's worth having a look around, check your hoses for leaks and whatnot, but yeah, we're just going to go do a straight fluid change today. As well as doing the fluid change, what I normally do is change this O-ring which sits on the bottom of the cap, because 9 times out of 10 these things are always leaking, and the O-rings don't last that long with all the heat in the engine bay and whatnot. So for the price of this small O-ring from the dealer, it's worth changing that as well. I'll put a part number in the description. Also I've got some rags and a bit of brake clean just to give the whole lot a bit of a clean up around the top there, get rid of any debris and fluid that's lying around. Now there's 2 processes we can use to change the fluid. We can either jack the car up, pull a hose off the lower end and drain it out like that and then refill the reservoir, or we can just suck all the fluid out of the reservoir and then replace it. This way you're actually flushing it right the way through the system, but you're diluting the old stuff at the same time that's in the extremities of the system. So usually do sort of 2 or 3 drains at once. That's the way I normally do it, and then we'll bleed the system. We'll have a look at that in a moment. But if your fluid's real dirty, real old, or real black looking, it's probably better off that you do pull the hose down the bottom and drain it like that, and then maybe do 2 or 3 flushes just to get all that old crap out of there. So to remove the old fluid out of the reservoir, some people use a turkey baster and just suck it out and put it in an old container. I find that a bit messy and a long process, so what I normally do is I use one of these liquid soap dispenser pumps, just pull it out the top and use that, and then just squirt it in an old container there. So I've got them ready, so let's have a look. Right, so we'll start off by giving the top of the reservoir and the cap a bit of a clean up on a wipe round before we even remove the cap, because the last thing we want to do is introduce any debris into the system there. So we'll give it a little bit of a squirt with brake clean. Get rid of all that muck and crap. So there we go, we've got the cap all cleaned up. I've got the new O-ring on there, and there's the old one that came off. All flat and deformed. No good, no wonder it's leaking. So now I'll get on and remove the old fluid. Okay, so next we'll refill the reservoir with the new fluid. We'll reinstall the cap just to check the level. That'll do us for now. Okay, so now we'll start the engine up, we'll get the power steering pump going, and we'll push this new fluid throughout the whole system, and we'll bleed it from end to end, and then we'll come back to the reservoir and repeat the process. Okay, so we'll get the engine started, we'll get the new fluid circulating throughout the system, and then what we're going to do to push any air out, and also just to push it right the way through the system, is we'll turn the steering wheel from lock to lock, and that'll bleed any air back to the reservoir. So you want to turn it twice both ways. So here we go. Okay, so now we'll repeat the process. We'll remove the old fluid from the reservoir, refill it with new fluid, start her up again, turn the wheel from lock to lock to bleed it all the way through the system, remove any air, and then come back and have another look. Now, as long as you haven't been overfilling your reservoir each time, that litre of new power steering fluid should give you enough fluid for 3 drain and fills, so we're going to repeat the process for a third time, final time now. Okay, so there we are, the job's done. Just have a sip of my tea here. Now, as it happened, it turned out that I had just enough fluid left to do it for a fourth go, so go at fourth flush. Didn't bother filming it because I'm sure you guys got the gist of it by now. But just make sure you do have enough fluid left for that last flush. Obviously, you don't want to end up in a situation where you're not got enough. So yeah, this is a nice easy DIY. You don't need any special tools, relatively cheap, just the price of a litre of power steering fluid, and maybe an O-ring if you choose to change it, which is worth doing, and it's going to prevent any problems down the road, power steering issues, your pump, your rack and whatnot. Anyway, I'm MTech Guy, thanks for watching.